What are some things that sound like compliments but are actually insults?
Aw, man, I wouldn't know anything about compliments that come across as pretty insulting. Definitely when I started showing my face, didn't get a bunch of you like, man, from your voice, I expected you to be a lot heavier with greasy hair. That felt great. Though a lot of you have also been super nice, so I'm fine. Story 1. When I used to be in an active band in the area, we would play shows with a bunch of different bands. Some great, some good, some terrible. You never want to be a D to anyone or tell someone they sucked, so our go-to comment to bands we just really didn't enjoy was to say, "You guys really were together out there." Sounds like they were playing well as one cohesive unit, but in reality, we just meant that they were literally together up there, because that's the closest thing to an honest, nice comment we could make. Oh man, that would be pretty disheartening to find out if you were in the other band. Like, oh boy, you sure all were standing on that stage near each other. You sure did produce sound at the same time as one another. And people heard it. Wow. The people heard it, and they witnessed your togetherness. Way to go. Story 2. You were so pretty as a child. Oof, this hits home. My mom has this joke that she thinks is hilarious. Whenever we happen to see an old photo of me when I was a kid, she, without fail, will say, "You used to be so cute. What happened?" Every time. Literally cracks herself up with it, too. If I show I don't think it's funny, she'll do the arm slap thing. Oh, come on. You know I'm just joking. What happened to your sense of humor? What happened to my sense of humor, Mom? Why, apparently it died away with my cuteness!
Story 3. When my art teacher said, "Great effort," there was a girl with mild cerebral palsy in my art class in high school, and the teacher stood behind her as she drew for a while and said, "Wow, your self-portrait may actually turn out to be all right." There was a very awkward tension in the room after that. Story 4. Wow, I'm so impressed. I didn't think you were capable of that. Respond with, "Wow, you're much more aware than everyone else tells me." Story 5. I heard when the 7th episode of Star Wars came out, George Lucas gave a fairly backhanded compliment to the movie. The public will love it.
Yeah, George, I would sure hate it if people liked a Star Wars movie. I don't have super strong feelings about Star Wars, but I gotta put a little jab in there. Come on, George, those prequels? All these little apologists on the internet in the last couple of years, they haven't convinced me. Those movies were bad. Shame on you.
Story 6. I see you showered. Nice. Once this girl in my class came up to me and was like, "Your hair looks so nice today. Normally it's so greasy." Story 7. There are lots of thin and pretty girls who wish they were as funny as you. Ouch. In school, the adults called me unique. The other kids called me a weirdo freak. I eventually realized those were basically the same thing, just that the first one is the slightly polite version. Story 8. It's a good thing you're pretty. I work in kitchens where ribbing the servers when they screw up is a popular pastime. My go-to was, "It's okay, I coast through life on my good looks too." Story 9. Anything complimentary with the word "actually" in it. You're actually quite pretty. You're actually smart. I've gotten "you're prettier than I thought" from someone I'd known for a year. I dressed up.
I got this one once when I first started doing stand-up comedy. Holy crap, I guess 13 years ago. But after going up there, or a friend seeing me, I got down there like, "Oh, you're actually really funny." And I'm like, "Actually? F off."
Story 10. I love how you'll just wear anything. The comedian George Gobel, after looking at all the other guests on the sofa of The Tonight Show, said to Johnny Carson, "Have you ever felt like the world is a tuxedo and you're a pair of brown shoes?" The guests were Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Bob Hope. I still find that funny after all these years. Story 11. You're on top of the bell curve. Story 12. You're very brave to wear that color. Only time it's true is white jeans on your time of the month. That is brave. Story 13. No matter what people say about you, I think you're okay. Edit. Thank you for the awards. My father always used to say to his students, you know, Jimmy, it's not true what they write about you on the bathroom stalls.
Oh man, this one got a bunch of awards, huh? Has this old joke, did it get so old and tired when I was younger that it died off and now it's come back and it's kind of new again? I mean, it's still pretty funny. It's a classic for a reason. I'm not trying to dig on you at all and everything. It just, I saw this and it's like, yeah, that is the old cliche. That's the go-to, but seem to be a few people who are like, wow, so new and clever. Oh, I'm thinking about how old I am again. We got to move on.
Story 14. See you later. Not if I see you first. I didn't realize for the longest time that the phrase actually meant if the person saw you first, they would find a way to avoid you so you don't see them. Story 15. You're pretty for my race, interests, or other things. I hate the specifiers. Like, can't I just be pretty instead of being pretty for? You're pretty fly for a white guy. Story 16. That's a really great picture of you. It doesn't look like you at all. Story 17. You're so independent. It's no wonder you're still single. To be honest, it's not like I have a choice. That right there is just a straight up insult. Story 18. Bless your heart. I hope the rest of your day is as pleasant as you are.
I'm sorry, I love Bless Your Heart. Also people are going, oh, honey, or oh, you sweet summer child. I know those ones are a little, backhanded and dismissive, but they've just got that, that little honey southern flair to it that I don't know. I think it's great.
Story 19. A guy gave it as feedback to one of my professors. If I had only 1 hour left to live, I'd always choose to attend your class, as it always feels like an eternity. It's the best one I've read. I'm stealing this one. Story 20. You're as smart as you are handsome. Works better if they're dog ugly. Story 21. I always like this one, I think from The Simpsons. I was afraid that you would respect me less. No, that would be impossible. Story 22. Your D is cute. Thanks, I did his braids. Story 23. Add a smiley face to any compliment to turn it into an insult. Intelligent reply. Story 24. You're smarter than you look. Better than looking smarter than you are. Story 25. You look healthy because you gained weight, or you're getting thin, you should eat more. Says my aunt, whom I've not seen in 5 years. Is a cultural thing, I guess. You look so healthy is a way I've heard a number of older people here in the UK tell people they've got fat. My parents are immigrants, so it took me far too long to catch on. My dad still hasn't and beams when it's said to him. He's obese and diabetic. Go figure.
Just don't comment on people's either bigness or thinness unless they bring it up. Folks, if I come in and I'm like, hey, I lost 10 pounds last month. And then you go, I can kind of tell you're looking great. I mean, obviously I'm excited about it. I have now given you permission to be excited. But if I've had times where people are like, have you been losing weight? And I'm like, no, I gained 2 pounds. Thanks.
Story 26. Oh, I see you lost some weight, especially in your face. Oh my God, I need more upvotes to give. Way to make a person feel like they were a effing land walrus last time you saw them. For anyone reading this who is confused, the right thing to say to someone who lost weight is, you look great. Don't specify how you can tell. Don't ask about numbers. Don't even mention weight at all. Story 27. Anything my mother-in-law says to me. I've been dating my boyfriend for 6 years, and I can already see this trend happening. Anything my boyfriend has a flaw in, she blames me for not making him stop or blames me for not saying something to him about it. Like he's a big boy. He can make decisions for himself. Story 28. You look like you're easy to draw. Wait, I've been told this. Well, why is it an insult?
I mean, I guess it's that you look like a kind of basic-looking cartoon character. Like, I guess you could say this to someone if they look like Sonic the Hedgehog or Homer Simpson. But otherwise, that's a weird one.
Story 29. You are special. You are unique, just like everyone else. Story 30. As someone with curly hair, wow, I love your hair. What does it look like straight? Basically sounds to me like, wow, I love your nose. Have you ever considered rhinoplasty? Yes, or when you do wear it straight. Wow, you look so amazing with your hair straight. Or you should wear it like that more often. Like, thanks. So my natural hair I wear 99% of the time isn't enough? I should take 2 hours to straighten it every day? Story 31. My biology teacher in high school used to love telling people, I don't care what anyone else says, you're all right. Story 32. You are so brave for wearing that crop top and not caring what other people think to a fat person.
Don't call someone's clothing choices brave. It's just an insult. It's not a compliment.
Story 33. You're good for being a woman. I was told you throw a football so well for a girl, and you're pretty good at math for a girl. Ugh, wish I'd come back with, you seem so pleasant for an a-hole. Story 34, saying you're really good at that to anything someone's failing at. Story 35, you finally got your haircut right.
You're goddamn right I did.
Story 36, you're looking healthy. That means they think you're fat. Counter with, I was going to say the same of you. Wow. Story 37, being called special, especially for those of us with disabilities. Not only do I find it degrading/demeaning, but in general, most people don't actually think that way. Often this mindset gets us into trouble too. I'm paralyzed, waist down, can confirm it is very insulting. Story 38, calling someone champ in Australia.
You know, I'm going to add on to this. I didn't know being called champ in Australian was like that. In Australian, what the hell? Moving on from that. I hate being a, base level worker, like a sales floor associate at some place, and having some guy in his 40s or 50s refer to me as boss. Hey, boss, can you help me out here? You know I'm not the boss. It just feels so disingenuous. Every time I hear it, my immediate thought was always like, well, I'm not going to help this person very well at all.
Story 39. You're not as bad of a person as I thought you'd be. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Have a great time.